New York, and anyone who wants to travel to New York. Go Touch Grass is coming to you live at the Cheerful Earful Podcast Festival.
Come check us out Wednesday, October 8th at 7 p.m. at Caveat in the East Village.
Tickets are $16, and you can get them right now at gotouchgrasspodcast.com.
See you there.
You got mail.
Tamaris.
And I'm Alise Morales.
And this is Go Touch Grass, the podcast where we log in
so you can log off.
Alise and I are two chronically online comedians, and on this pod, we break down the week in internet discourse, viral memes, TikTok trends, and niche influencer drama so that you can do literally anything else with your time.
And if you like what you hear today and you want to hear more, we have a Go Touch Grass Patreon with tons more content weekly, access to our Discord community where we have a book club. We've got our spin-off series, Search History, where we go back and break down a viral discourse from the past. This week on the Patreon, we had an update to our segment, Cancel Watch, where we talked about a baseball wife.
That was under fire.
A baseball wife under fire.
I feel like you never want to piss off teachers or single moms.
Yeah, I think that's the, like...
And she pissed off one of those groups.
Yes, that is, like, the ultimate message of that story is, like, don't be trying to piss off single moms.
Don't piss off single moms.
That's not smart for a number of reasons. Also, why? Why are you trying to piss off single moms?
Why are you trying to piss off?
That's not right.
And speaking of right, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review. We love your reviews. We need more of them. But really, the best review you can do is to tell your friends.
Yep.
Tag us in the story. We will repost. You know we're online.
You know we're online, and we are on YouTube.
Yeah.
We are on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube. If you're watching our YouTube today, you'll see that Millie and I are actually recording at my apartment, which is the first time we've ever done that in general, but certainly on the free feed.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever recorded an episode here.
No, I don't think we've ever recorded an episode here, so you guys will be able to see it. You'll be able to see our Labubu's in the background because we have a wonderful member of Grass Nation who sent us Labubu's.
Yes, and we have another member of Grass Nation I think she might have sent me and you.
Close.
She's a member of Grass Nation, but she's also a friend from college.
Okay, it makes more sense, but I will say that, like, if only you got clothes for the Labubu, if someone wants to send me clothes for my Labubu.
We need a P.O. box.
We need a P.O. box.
Be giving our address.
You're right.
We should stop giving an address, so we should get a P.O. box. So first we'll get a P.O. box.
Then start sending us stuff for our Labubus.
Yeah.
Mine is named La.
And mine is Serenity.
Which we kind of feel like was a message from the universe. Because these were blind box Labubus, so I do feel like it's like tarot.
It's like tarot.
Kind of. Like the Labubu that you get, like that is the Labubu that the universe wanted you to have.
And speaking of Labubu, tarot, Brujería, which is going to come up a lot in your segment and my segment.
We have tons of Brujería happening on today's episode.
How was your women's journey in Japan? Because I think the people want to know. The people witnessed it. I witnessed it. I was having fun. I was having so much fun watching you.
Having so much fun.
That I was 19, when I was 19, I was doing those things.
I had an amazing time in Japan. Japan is an incredible place. Japan's a beautiful place. The toilet technology that they have in Japan. We're living in the Stone Age here, and it's actually sad. It's actually sad. You could be having a toilet experience where the toilet knows that you're there, knows that you're seated, knows that you've sat back up, warms itself up, shoots water up your butthole, and whatever manner you choose. You can actually choose the manner in which it shoots water up your butthole. And this is a public toilet.
Yeah, the public
starts playing white noise as soon as you sit down.
Yeah, that got me so that now I can't. Because even in college, like, because I went to college, like I was an international student.
Yes.
That was the norm even in the college bathrooms. So I have something where I'm like, I shouldn't have to hear anyone pee or poop ever. And that's why I always play a radio.
The technology exists for us to not hear each other in the bathroom at all. It's a beautiful place. I mean, Tokyo Disney was amazing. I did put up an Instagram story the morning that I was going to Tokyo Disney, and I said straight up, today I'm going to post in a way that has never been seen before.
And may never be seen
again. I was like, I'm going to push the boundaries of posting today. Mm-hmm. If you want to mute me, you're welcome to do that. I understand. If you want to tap in and out of these stories, I understand. But you need to understand that I am being forthcoming and I'm saying I'm going to post over 100 Instagram stories today. I'm going to post in a way that actually Instagram doesn't allow. No, I'm sure I could count them because I do have them in a highlight on my Instagram. Because, yeah, I was at Tokyo Disney alone. It was amazing. I was the only, I think, certainly single adult female, but I think single adult person.
American. Oh, person.
I saw one man at one point that I was like, I think I might have found the only other single adult male. And he is currently in the line for Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Okay, here's a rom-com idea.
2 single adults at Tokyo Disney.
2 single adults at Tokyo Disney because Tokyo Disney, so Christmas in Tokyo is like Valentine's Day. Like, because it doesn't have any religious thing. So, like, and Tokyo Disney is where it's like the #1 date spot. So,
you know what? I did notice a lot of couples in general because it was already decorated for Halloween, which was awesome.
But it's very American.
Yes.
They're like experiencing America through Disney Tokyo.
There were a lot of couples in like really intense Disney cosplay that I will say. So I went into this on my story as well because I didn't want to be canceled. That Tokyo Disney is actually owned by not the Disney Corporation. I mean, I'm sure they actually do make money off of it, but like outright, they are licensing Disney shit from Disney, and it is owned by this other company. But I noticed in the parks that they really don't have any like base characters, Mickey, any of that. There's like one place you can go to meet Donald and Daisy, and one place you can go to meet Mickey, but otherwise they don't have like princesses walking around. Some of them are in the parades and stuff, but I did not see the level of meet and greets that are typical of a Disney park where you're walking around, you're seeing the characters doing shit.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a licensing thing, but because of that, they clearly don't have the same rules that the American Disney parks have around, like, you as an adult, you cannot show up dressed like Cinderella, like head to toe, amazing costume Cinderella, because they don't
I thought this was America.
No, because they don't want children at the park becoming confused as to who is an official Cinderella versus
they'll
who's
see
a
me
rogue.
As Cinderella, and they'll be like, "That's Cinderella.
That's Cinderella.
That's our Cinderella."
They don't want the kids to become confused as to who is like an officially sanctioned princess, whatever. So there's like a thing in American Disney adult culture called Disney bounding, which I think we've talked about.
We had a Patreon episode
where we
about the
it.
Disney bounding influencer getting canceled. But
but basically what that is like you dress up inspired by a character, but no one really could actually think you were that character because it's clearly not a Disney sanctioned costume. Anyway, the thing is, Tokyo Disney doesn't have that. And I did notice a high number of couples who would be like a really good Belle and Gaston.
Yeah.
Or like a really fucking good Rapunzel and Flynn Rider. Like they were doing some real shit.
Yeah, but I'm like, there's just a level. You got to think of the most anime adults in America. And you got to think of like the level of Disney adult you have to be in Japan, where it's like, the home of all this cool, like, animated characters and all this stuff, and you choose to, like, stand Disney and then go to Tokyo Disney, like, that's a level of Disney adult that we can't even understand those levels.
No, it was something and again, this is part of my TikTok algorithm. I thought I was prepared. I thought I was prepared for the fact that the Beauty and the Beast ride is a complete fucking masterpiece that exists only in Tokyo and is one of the most beautiful pieces of art I've ever seen. But I wasn't actually prepared until I saw it, and it was so fucking good. And I wasn't prepared for the level of Disney adult that I saw at Tokyo Disneyland because, again, they're able to express themselves in different ways. There were people in costumes that were unrelated to Disney as far as I could tell. They just were like, Halloween, I'm showing up in costume. There's a raven on my shoulder. I'm wearing like...
How are you going to ride a ride with a raven on your shoulder?
Wasn't about. There was a girl that I saw who had, it was like a raven on her shoulder, a little top hat, a suit, and like claws. And I was, for the life of me, like,
what is this girl? Is it just like Harajuku? Like, was she just going to Harajuku?
I think that some people were in really good Disney costumes. Some people were in like unrelated anime seeming almost furry-ish type costumes. And then some people were just wearing like a Halloween outfit. And those people looked fucking amazing.
You know what's so funny? So flashback to Millie in college at I was in an international student and I was hanging out with this guy and he's like walking his bike and we're just hanging out together. We're walking through an empty parking lot at the school. It was like after school practice or something. And there's an ambulance and I see the ambulance people moving in a stretcher. And I'm like, oh my God, I wonder what happened. And he's like, that's just cosplay. And I'm like, no. Like somebody's there. Like that's a real ambulance. He's like, no, Millie. Like he's joking. He's being sarcastic, but he's like, Japanese people love cosplay. They're so into cosplay. It's just really good cosplay. And I'm like, no, they're taking some. And he just kept saying, it's cosplay. It's cosplay.
I mean, that's a new way that I might move through the world. If I see something that upsets me, I'm going to be like, cosplay.
Well, there's also, I mean, it's a good thing for like taking it back to the show of like rage bait. It's like, that's rage bait. Like
that's rage bait. It's cosplay.
Or this person has a humiliation kink. Yeah. I'm not engaging.
Has nothing to do.
You can't engage with people. Everyone who says something crazy online, we simply don't have the time.
We simply don't have the time, but you know what we do have time to do is recap everything that Cardi B's been up to.
I know.
Which is our discourse today.
Our discourse today is Cardi B update.
Yeah.
Call us Brazilian teens because this is
the Cardi B update.
You know what's so funny? Okay, so this year, this time, I'm just saying, Alise, there's been some brujeria happening with us covering Cardi.
Yes, and here's something I want to say. I want to put this question to you before we begin because you did all this research. Would you say that at this point, in your capacity as a podcasting pseudo-journalist, as I am, that you are now on the Cardi B?
Boo! Tomato! Oh, God damn it. Oh, fucking Lord. Yeah, I'm on the Cardi B.
You are. I think you are.
I think I'm on the Cardi B. Yeah, no, thank you. I would say she's a discourse inducer.
Absolutely
she's a discourse inducer. And we've been covering her. Just think back. I'm going to kind of go through all the stuff that we've covered about her, right? Yeah. We were covering her from her ex, Offset, publicly cheating on her and publicly humiliating her. Her announcing her divorce and her third pregnancy on the same day. She was pregnant with her third baby, Blossom, and she announced that at the same time as she announced her divorce from Offset again, this man who was publicly cheating on her. She was scorned. We could tell from far away there was jealousy there.
Yes.
And I want you to think back to January of this year.
Thinking back.
We had Katie Nolan on.
We did.
From SiriusXM.
Yep.
She was fucking promoting her new podcast, The Casuals, which is a sports podcast. And we talked about the Offset stuff. And we said, you know what? Cardi B needs an NFL husband.
Yep.
Like an NFL husband like Ciara.
On the record.
Ciara and Russell Wilson.
Yes.
And then we made a whole thing about how we were going to draft a husband. And I did research. I was looking at NFL players. No. I'm telling you, Brujería. Listen, lock in. Me personally, I looked at the Russell Wilson, right? A player from the Seattle Seahawks. He's corny, Christian, whatever, but he's just so locked in on Ciara, and they're just like a power couple. And it's so big and like it's whatever that Ciara has set up. Her whole thing online is setting up like pop stars with NFL players. That's who she set up beautiful. Normani, and that's Normani's fiance. So it's a thing. And then it's like everyone needs a corny NFL husband, right? Whatever. And she has like Taylor's doing it. And we'll get to that because this all ties in. But anyway, Millie Tamaris, I said, who could be a good match for Cardi? I found Matt Collins, who is a wide receiver for the New England Patriots. My argument, I said, he's really hot, but he's very goofy. He like insists on walking barefoot everywhere. He never wears like a shirt. And he does like science experiments on his Instagram reel. It's like cute.
Oh, right. I
He
remember
dresses
this.
up
I remember
like,
the science
like the
experiments.
duck from Back to the Future, but he has abs and
You-
he's a football player, but then he's also a huge nerd and is goofy.
I love that.
And I'm like, this
I
guy would be
remember this.
perfect for her. Well, Cardi took our advice,
Okay.
right? Because
She's
literally
listening.
a month later, she was rumored to be dating Stephon Diggs, right? NFL player. She was seen, and we covered that. She was stepping out of restaurants on Valentine's Day with Stephon Diggs. She was seen courtside, whatever. I need you to know, Alise, Stephon Diggs, after spending the first 10 seasons of his career with the Vikings, Bills, and Texans, Stephon Diggs just signed a contract to be what? A wide receiver for the New England Patriots. On the New England Patriots. We said, I said Cardi should be with this guy, a wide receiver for the New England Patriots. She's the one with the wide receiver for the New England Patriots, but not the one that I picked.
But here's the thing, and this theme will come back in a major way. Sometimes you do brujeria. It doesn't, you can't always control exactly. It's not a perfect science. You can't always control where and how it lands, and that's why we must be careful.
We must be careful
when messing with certain powerful forces.
Yes. Okay, so Stephon Diggs and her, they start dating, they start being seen together. We're reporting on it. Every time she was being public with Stephon Diggs, Offset would crash out. Cardi B would post herself on a date. Offset would be with like 5 naked women on Instagram. I wish I was joking. Go back to the archives.
I remember.
We have talked about this. Okay. Then you're just seeing Cardi be loved in a different way. Offset was very extravagant. Again, never forget, like one time he cheated, she stopped talking to him. He showed up to like the biggest performance of her life with like 800 roses and said, "Take me back, I'm sorry." And she's like, "Get off stage, and whoever allowed this, you're fired." And then she performed.
I mean, that rocks.
So that's like a very public thing that Offset, and like, I'll say that Stephon Diggs is very extravagant, but there is a little tinge of thoughtfulness there. One of the moments that went viral that I was really like, wow, was she's like, Stephon knows that like I've always wanted to go to Versailles, but I never have time when I'm in Paris because I'm so busy. So he said he booked a hotel. He booked the Airbnb was a castle. He booked a castle for them for the whole weekend. And like, I'm just like, that's really cool. But like,
and that doesn't like take from a moment of hers or like put her on the spot in any weird way. I think, and obviously, once again, I'm kind of coming at this from like a Swiftian perspective, watching, but similar feelings of like watching an artist that you really like start a relationship with like football guy, fancy football guy. And what I do think is nice about the Taylor and Travis of it all, and what might be nice just with like pop stars and football players and that kind of like alliance that is now happening, is I think that the football player doesn't feel threatened by the woman being a pop star in any way. And that's kind of why he's able to be like a better boyfriend to her. Like, he doesn't have a desire to get on stage or be a more successful artist or be this or that. He's like, oh shit, my girl's really, really, really famous. That's fucking cool. Like,
well, somebody also said too, which is also like a man said this, a black man said this on TikTok, was like, to be an athlete, a professional NFL athlete, you have to have a very regimented, you have to have a lot of discipline. You have to have like a really tough workout. You have to whatever. So that's also why pop stars and athletes. And then this guy was saying like, she's just getting dicked down in a completely different way.
Well, yes, also that.
Because like, even if you have a good body as a rapper or something like that, a rapper's lifestyle, a musician's lifestyle versus like I'm talking about a rapper. Cardi B's a rapper, but a female rapper. There's just different expectations, and we will get into the different expectations of female rappers. But like a female rapper, you're supposed to be scantily clad, do choreography, and rap at the same time. A male rapper, you can do whatever you want, just show up, whatever, and no one sees. So just in the level of like dick downness, with an NFL athlete who actually has to like work out and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just different.
It's different. It's different. And I think that's why we're seeing the pop star NFL athlete alliance over and over and over again.
And Megan Thee Stallion, she's dating a current NBA player.
See, that's similar because it's similar. Like, I feel like I know with Taylor, and I know from talking to you about Cardi B and Offset, it's like they get with these other fellow musicians who are in their field or an adjacent like genre, and then that guy starts to feel some type of way when she has a bigger tour or more albums sold or more streams or more this or more that, or just like is clearly the more relevant artist of the time, and then they take it out on the woman by being kind of a dick to her.
Yeah, and like, again, pick fights before big events. And it's something, again, that So another very viral moment for Cardi and Stefan was footage of them at a yacht party with a bunch of hot women twerking. And there are 3 girls all up on digs. And one of them passes a little baggie of pink cocaine to another. So he gets fined for that, whatever. But anyway, like, it's not like all sweet and wholesome. They're doing some crazy stuff, but like, whatever.
I mean, you're not, I haven't already factored into my understanding of Cardi B and Stefan Diggs that like they might be doing a little coke on the weekends and getting worked on.
Well,
I'm not. That's
an
not
NFL player shouldn't.
No,
like,
I know they can't be doing coke.
He got fined for that, but like,
I mean,
but it was also showing that like they actually have fun together.
Yeah.
It's like whatever. Okay. Anyway, Cardi B started promoting her sophomore album, Am I the Drama?
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
So the last time we covered Cardi B as a podcast, so she starts releasing Am I the Drama merch, and the larger sizes 3X, 2X, and 4X. I don't even know if it went up to 4X, honestly. It was like 2X and 3X sold out before all the other sizes sold out. So Cardi B went on social media and she said, wow, my fans need to stop eating. Like, they need to stop eating Chick-fil-A. You guys are so fucking fat. Like, she was saying it as a joke. A plus-size creator named Samira said, hey, that's not cool. It's fat-phobic. It is fucked up. Cardi B replied with a shitty response that, honestly, like, she kind of doubled down. And personally, I found that, like, really annoying. I thought she was being annoying about it. The other girl was being annoying. We go into it
on Patreon.
So please listen to that. But I'll be honest here. I kind of lost a little bit of respect, and I lost like excitement about this album. I was really looking forward to this sophomore album. And then that incident happened. It kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. So whatever. So then that was the last time we heard about her. Since then, she was in a lawsuit.
Yes.
So she had a court case at the beginning of September, and the lawsuit stemmed from an incident in 2018 at a Beverly Hills medical office. So this security guard by the name of Imani Ellis claimed Cardi B assaulted her by hitting her, spitting on her, and having her staff hold her down. Cardi B's attorneys argued Ellis tried to record the rapper without consent and there was no physical contact. So Cardi B was going to a doctor's office. A security guard said that Cardi B attacked her. The lawyer said, no, they didn't.
It was also like, an OBGYN appointment, right? So it's like, it's not even just going to the doctor. She was going to like a pregnancy appointment. I feel like that there's something like extra violating about that to me, that she was going to a
private, so she could sell. And it's like, so the security guard could sell the footage to TMZ. And everyone could speculate. And also like, just by the nature of her going to which we'll get into, this will tie back of like, by nature of just hearing her that she's pregnant, in discourse gets induced.
Yes.
So maybe she might not even have wanted people to find out at that moment. 2018, that timing was, I think, before the first time.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, also this was at a time where she wasn't like publicly pregnant, and she's having like a pregnancy related appointment filmed. I just think you are asking to get in an altercation with someone if you're doing that to them.
Well, especially someone from the Bronx. Cardi B,
especially if that person is Cardi B.
So Cardi B testified in the civil trial, which took place in Alhambra, California. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. Please don't message us about that.
Please, yeah, guys, you have to within yourself be like, does this deserve a message? I think it might be Alhambra. But either way, yeah. So whatever. We're good.
The trial gained viral attention for Cardi's unfiltered courtroom reactions and presence and testimony.
Yeah. She was going so viral.
She was going so viral. She had like all these expressive things she said because she's funny.
Did you call her fat?
No, I was calling her a bitch.
Yesterday you had black hair, short hair. Today it's blonde and long. Which one is your real hair? Or are they both real?
They're wigs.
You said she's bigger than you? Is that correct?
Absolutely.
How do you know that?
I mean, look.
And why were you concerned?
Because I'm pregnant and this girl's about to beat my... Hello?
Hello. Hello, I'm here. When I'm talking to you now, are we having a verbal altercation?
We having, we'll see, a debate.
In early September, earlier this month, a jury found Cardi B not liable, meaning that they did not believe the security guard's account. And once that was settled, she then announced a special edition of the Am I the Drama album with her facial expressions cover. So she made like 3 special editions, and this was the caption for the post. I mean, look, by popular demand, the courtroom edition of Am I the Drama is available now. The CD variations are available at the Cardi B Rub store, which fans can pre-order now for $10 each, and a vinyl courtroom edition of the album was available for $40.
So these are basically like different versions of the album where like the imagery is different and it's pulled from her viral court stuff.
Yes. So it's a picture with 4 pictures in it, and each picture is a different meme, a different facial expression. And then I think she was deposed for 2 or 3 days because you could mark the different days by the different
by her wigs. Yeah.
So one day she's wearing a blonde wig. So it has 4 pictures of all the expressions she did from the blonde wig day.
Yes. I feel like the blonde wig day is the big day that went viral. I feel like
but then the black wig day was also viral because she had something else. She said something else. So she has the black wig version, the blonde wig version, and maybe there was a red wig version. I don't know. Or maybe a combined.
I know at one point the lawyer is like, I like your hair, or like says something. The lawyer was out of his depth. Yeah. I would say.
So, album comes out September 19th. On September 17th, Cardi B appears on CBS This Morning with Gail. We're going to watch a clip.
Okay.
It's like 2 minutes.
Great.
And then we're going to react to it.
I'm actually I'm excited. I'm happy. I feel like I'm in a good space. I feel very strong. I feel very powerful that I'm doing all this work, but I'm doing all this work while I'm creating a baby. Me and my man, we're very supportive of each other. We're like in the same space in our careers, but like in different,
By that, what do you mean by that same space? That you're both doing well? What do you mean?
You know what it is? That I feel like we're really great and one of the best at what we do. And me and him think the same way. Like, it's like, yeah, we're one of the greatest, but what's next? What we doing again? We do it again. We have to do it again all the time. It's not like we're never like comfortable. We just want to keep doing it. And that's just how we both are.
You have a song on your new album. I can't wait for people to hear the new music, but there's a song called Safe.
Yeah.
Is he somebody that makes you feel safe?
Very safe. In both ways. Physically, I mean, like, you see how big he is.
Yes, I did see, yes.
And he just makes me feel safe and very confident and very, like, strong. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, 2 weeks ago, I was literally having a panic attack. I was, like, crying and crying and crying just because I was just getting really nervous with, the whole album rollout. Mm-hmm. People were coming at me very hard. Sometimes people love you, people hate you, and people was just saying very mean things about me. And I'm like, see, this is why I don't put music out, because it's like, this is my art and this is something that I put a lot of love and time to. And it's just like, sometimes like, it's like when people just rip it apart, it hurts you and it crushes you. And he was just like, girl, you better get it together. And it's like, he makes me feel very confident. I feel like feeling safe is feeling confident, feeling like it's like you could do it. And it makes you feel like you could take over the world.
Beautiful. I mean,
what do you think?
I'm happy that she's in a relationship where she feels that way. Like, that's very beautiful. And yeah, I do think, again, it comes down to, especially for someone who is successful at that high level for a woman, like, you have to find someone who likes that about you.
Yeah.
And, like, it doesn't make them feel some type of way about themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like it's so common. And I see it on the level of just like where Millie and I are at in comedy all the time. Obviously, you know, we're right under Cardi B and Taylor Swift
basically.
in terms of
We're in
notoriety
the Kia
and all
asylum.
that stuff.
We're in the Kia asylum.
Yes.
But still in the Kia asylum, these guys get spooked from the Kia asylum.
Yes, and it's like you'll see a guy who is attracted to a successful woman who's successful in his field, and like there's something about her talent that attracts him to like want to do that partnership, but then also immediately comes to resent it and sabotages and all this shit. And I feel like Cardi was dealing with that, and I feel like a lot of pop stars deal with that. And even if it's like an actor, I feel like if you are in like you can't even really go adjacent in like the fame world, because even the actor will be like, you're more famous than me. Whereas a football player, their calculation of famous is totally different.
Their brains, I'm sorry, are also yellow, which is fine. Like, we don't need you doing too much. You know?
Yeah, you don't need to be doing so much.
You don't need to be doing so much with that brain. So this is where the controversy comes in.
Okay.
And we were talking about like maybe this segment being the main segment or even being Grasshole, because this is where the Grasshole comes in. But okay. So that's Cardi B. Cardi B releases that on September 17th.
Okay.
That interview. So, boom. There's a podcast called The Read.
Okay.
And it's a weekly pop culture podcast. And it's hosted by Kid Fury, two comedians called Kid Fury and Crystal Ross. They're based in New York City.
Okay.
They're both black and queer, and they're super funny. And they started out like on Black Twitter. Kid Fury was doing stuff on YouTube. So
I've definitely seen clips of The Read. Like, I feel like it'll come up in like Instagram and TikTok various times.
Yeah.
Like, I've never listened to it myself, but I'm familiar with it from that.
So they've been out since 2013. They're black, queer, super funny. They started off on Black Twitter. They met on Black Twitter, and then they like moved to New York and started this podcast. They talk about mental health in a different way. So I'll just read some, like, just to get the vibe of this. Okay. So this is from HuffPost, Taryn Finley. And she said, The Read is, a quote, a fun, slightly raunchy, expletive-filled, brutally honest podcast that doubles as a safe space for Black people, and stated that The Read with Kid Fury and West made a definitive mark and have helped usher in a wave of Black podcasters after them. The Guardian wrote in 2014, The Read is a casual but energizing voice in the podcast world. The podcast world is dominated by straight young male comedians reaching middle age. By straight white male comedians reaching middle age. And Kid Fury and Crystal are Black, gay, young, and cool. Their perspective is more sensitive to race, sexual identity, and minority experience than any other podcast that exists right now. So,
Except for us.
Well, this was in 2014. So that's kind of the vibe. So again, I'll just say, I mean, I don't want to get too like down in the podcast numbers, but you can't get public information about how many podcast downloads a podcast has. But my little trick is looking at reviews. Honestly, reviews is like, I can gauge how many whatever. Like,
and please review Go Touch Grass. Please review us on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify.
We're about at 100 reviews, for example. Yeah. And I'll be transparent that we are in the upper 5% of podcast listeners.
Yes.
And we're not making
I mean,
money.
Listen, it's like that sound. It is impressive. Like, I'm not going to say like,
it's impressive.
It's impressive, but it doesn't translate to that like we're making a ton of money.
I feel like you can't really make money from podcasting unless you're in that 2 or 3%.
Yeah, like truly the top tier where you are getting like major ads sold on your back catalog. The other way to make money is Patreon, so sign up for our Patreon. That's the best way. That's where we make any money.
Yeah, really. So Call Her Daddy has 162,000 ratings. reviews. Joe Rogan, that's 200,000 reviews. Those are the biggest. They're getting millions of downloads an episode, like $4 million downloads an episode.
Yes.
The Read has 28,000 reviews.
That's a lot.
So that's a lot. So you can gauge, like, I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if they have like 625 episodes.
Yeah. I feel like in general, seeing how many reviews something has is a great way to evaluate. And we will come back to that at the end of the episode.
Okay. Well, there we go. So the Read segments, they have a lot of segments, but their main kind of segments, they do Black Excellence, where they highlight like a positive Black figure in the week. Then they do Hot Topics and listener letter. Like Hot Topics is like the weekly topics. Listener letters, where people write in for advice. And then finally the Read, where each of the hosts read someone to fill.
Okay.
You know? So
I never want... It's always funny to me when people are like, read me, like, I'm this, read me. And I'm like, I don't need to be read. I don't need it. I don't need it.
I can read clearly, but like, I don't like to do it. And it's also like, I don't mind when someone like asks for it.
No.
Like, I like to poke fun at people like jokingly and stuff, and some people don't take it well and all this. I don't know.
I'm not going to put myself up for reading in that way. It reminds me of people who are like, how old do you think I am? I'm like, I don't need that. Especially online. Millennials, this is one thing that I do feel online, that we have to stop.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, like, millennials, stop posting a video of yourself and being like, nobody can believe how old I am. And because that you're setting yourself up to have people be like, you're 70 years old. Like, in the comments. Like, it's not, you are setting yourself up. I don't care how good you think you look. I'm not putting myself out there in that way.
So, this is full disclosure, I used to listen to the Read religiously. Like, they were the best on having nuanced opinions on Black topics. But over time, I found them to be pretty negative. They had the listeners' letters, and their advice was always very harsh. Very, very harsh. Like, people would, so especially Crystal, she's very vulnerable about, she has a tough relationship with her family, completely cut off her mom and dad. Like, so it's very encouraged. Like, my mom, like, kind of got mad at me for not washing the dishes at Thanksgiving. And she's like, get them off! And I'm like, oh my God. Or like, this girl's like, my dad didn't really talk to me, but like, ICE, like, he needs a sponsor for his visa. Should I sponsor? She's like, call ICE on your dad right now. Like, oh my God. I'm like, Jesus Christ. You know, so it was just like that. And also, they are both so squarely, deeply beehive in a way that makes me uncomfortable.
I understand that.
Just Beyonce gets no criticism.
Yeah.
There's nothing, and I love Beyonce as an artist, whatever, but like, there's a lot to, especially recently.
Well, that's why I struggle with identifying as a Swiftie, because I feel like to say Swiftie is for me to say that I think that Taylor Swift is above reproach and like that you can't have any problem with anything that she's doing. And I think I've demonstrated that that's not how I feel. And I have reproached her many times. But beyond that, like, I do think, again, it's like, you can love Beyonce, but to be beehive is different.
Yeah, so they're very beehive in a way that makes me uncomfortable. Another thing, tonally, obviously they've been doing it for 12 years. They're not happy to be there. They're a little resentful to do their pod. People, a lot of comments, a lot of their fan base says, like, you know, it always feels like they're putting a gun to their head. Like, they're like resentful. They don't want to be doing it. They have a lot of issues with men. You know, and I don't say this. Like, it's fucking hard.
It's fucking hard.
We had a month, like, production break. Just production.
Yeah, because we recorded, as you guys all know, a great series of episodes. So we did all of the same amount of work. We just front loaded.
Yeah, which was crazy.
And was tough.
And was extremely tough. But, like, it's just tough to, like, again, as you're going through the divorce, I'm going through my shit. Like, and also to consistently do a podcast, and we are doing it twice a week. Like, it's a lot. I totally get it.
And we do edit everything ourselves, too. We're not just sitting over here. We edit and research everything ourselves.
Oh, my God. So it's just a lot. I get it. So I don't want to be whatever, but that is a criticism that people say.
Is that people feel like they're over it.
People feel like they're over it. Kid Fury actually did lean more into showbiz. He wrote on rap shit. He's right. He does comedy. He does whatever. He leaned into showbiz. Crystal, throughout her journey as a podcaster, has been letting people know she was in school to be a therapist. She's in therapy school. She tweets about like, oh, I'm gonna get a grade. Like, so she's been very publicly going to therapy school, and she graduated. She has her master's in psychology. All right. So when Cardi B announced her pregnancy, Crystal ended an episode reading Cardi. And here's a little segment of that conversation.
Having 3 kids already, maybe because you have so much money, it's not really hitting you because other people are doing so much of the actual day-to-day childcare work. Maybe it's not hitting you how much kids really do need a solid foundation and need their parents to be locked in and engaged with them. You say, oh, well, my kids are fine because it's an assortment of nannies to take care of them 24/7. Your children will be hurting for the lack of their father's presence in their life. If their father is either lacking because he's a healthy, great dad who's simply not around anymore, or lacking because they deserve a healthy, great dad who's not there and never was there because that's not Offset or who he is or what he does. Either way, the children lose. Blossom just turned 1, meaning you were fully pregnant. You talking about going on tour in February. All right, it's mid-September now. So I'm guessing that means you're knocking on your last trimester?
I would guess.
So you're going to give birth to this baby probably near the end of the year, towards the top of the year, and then spend 6 weeks in surgery and tour rehearsal to then do what? Go on stage and do fucking nothing. I went back and watched Cardi B's performances after she came back after having culture. Some of the most boring shit you ever seen in your life. And not because of the performance itself. Oh, it's great colors and costumes and dancers and musicians. There's a bunch of shit going on. You know who not doing nothing? Cardi. Laying down on a fucking round table and letting that shit spin around for half the fucking performance and then getting up and having niggas salsa dance her and twirl her ass around on stage for a little while. She don't do shit. You waited all this goddamn time to release another album just to get pregnant in the middle of this album being done and preparing for the... Why? Why, bitch? Why? You don't know how to use your butt? You never heard of condoms? You never heard of the IUD? You never heard of the pill? You decided to get pregnant by the nigga you cheated on your husband with? Why? This is just dumb bitch shit. This is so fucking stupid. You are bringing a whole new person into the world, girl. It's not playtime. It's not that ugly ass Labubu Kid Fury just got. It's not some toy you could just toss around and it don't matter how it feel about nothing. It don't matter about its circumstances. This is a human being. I just can't believe this dumb bitch.
That part was a part of an 8-minute rant. And it wasn't, and I thought it was actually at the read segment of their show, but it actually was not. Because the read is actually the end of the show. It's like their Grasshole of the week.
Yeah.
But no, it's an 8-minute rant. We listened to like 2 or 3 of those minutes.
I'm just like, when a person decides to get pregnant I can't imagine like actually being mad that someone is pregnant while rolling out an album.
Yeah.
I just feel like when a person gets pregnant, is up to them. We don't know if it was planned, unplanned, how Cardi B chooses to do like birth control for herself, but it's her album. It's on her to promote the album and be pregnant. Like, she's the only person, I guess, I feel like is inconvenienced by that choice.
Yeah, well, so Crystal said first, like, her first thing, she's like, I'm not okay with it. She's still married. She, like, technically, which Offset said he's not signing anything, like, or he's purposely not signing because she wants him to pay, like, give him a house and do all this stuff, and she's not accepting.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're having a contentious divorce. And then another thing she said was, like, she didn't plan it well, like, it's in the middle, whatever, and then it's like a disrespectful to her fans because she's not going to put on a good performance because how could she if she is, pregnant?
I don't know. I guess I'm like, if she does put on a bad performance, you can talk about it then. I mean, I know she was saying like, oh, I saw her before and she wasn't good while pregnant. Yeah, I do think as an artist, like you have a responsibility to put on a good show, but I don't think that a pregnant person by necessity can't put on a good show. Rihanna did it for the Super Bowl.
So, Rihanna's Super Bowl, that's not a good example.
She did do it.
She did do it, but like, that's a load-bearing statement. I'll say, okay, another thing that has come out since Cardi B announced the pregnancy is that Stefan, there's all these clips of people, Stefan's kind of like a little pervert, or like, there's this thing of like, who's the last person that you would never want your sister to date on the team of his former team? And they're like, Stefan. I would not. So he has things, and then there's allegedly has 3 kids on the way at the same time. So
who are the other 2 kids supposed to be?
He just has like 3 different women pregnant at once.
Oh wait, because I think I heard this. That he has another ex.
I heard that he has one paternity case in litigation.
Okay,
but I know he has.
And I mean, Cardi obviously,
and Cardi has 3 kids with another guy.
Okay,
so they're saying that he's a scumbag. Whatever. So that was the clip. People start saying like, "Girl, you're fucking 30. No, you're 43, which is how old Crystal is. Why do you care so much about somebody else's life?"
That's basically how I felt. It's just kind of like, I mean, I guess maybe she won't be as vigorous of a dancer while pregnant. I don't know. I've never been pregnant, and I've never been a pop star. So I don't know how those 2 things interact with each other. I've never tried to like rap and perform while pregnant, so I don't know.
And Crystal was saying, like, another thing was like, you're going to be abandoned. Because people are like, well, she has the money and resources to have as many kids as she wants. And
like, and whenever
it's not
she
about
wants.
money. And she's like, it's not about money. It's about being there. Your kids are going to be neglected. You have everybody raising your kids except for you. This and this and that. So
I don't know if that's true.
Well, a lot of people obviously got upset. They're like, this is why I stopped listening to the read. They're so fucking miserable and negative. Another thing people said was like, Crystal was saying the truth, but like, she's just putting it a little harshly, or like, that's a normal Crystal segment, which is like, that's literally how she would talk. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that it's right or wrong, but like, that's again in the realm of
her
like,
vibe. That's what she
vibe.
does.
So it's not like I do think that she has some outsized like kind of grudge or something against Cardi too. But a big thing that people were saying was like, you're a mental health professional. You should not be talking about people and children the way that you do. Like, it's not okay to talk about like somebody that you don't know. You have a parasocial relationship, and also you're talking really crazy about like a mother.
Yeah, and it is, don't piss off single moms, number 1, but it is kind of a thing where it's like, okay, if her intention is to be a therapist, you might have people that you have to be a therapist for who are having an unexpected pregnancy at a time that maybe isn't ideal, or have chosen to have a nanny, or this, that, or the other. You know what I mean? And so it's like, for you to be on the record with these like really harsh judgments against a manner of living that exists for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons, I don't think is wise.
So let's see what Crystal had to say about that.
Okay.
Hi, guys. Hi, Lena Bates. Hi, mommy, baby girl. Hi. Y'all are really mad. I forgot how exhilarating it is to have this many people pissed off. It's been a while, so I just wanted to clear something up real quick. Like, please continue to have your hashtag discourse. But I'm seeing a lot of, that's not appropriate for a therapist to say. What kind of therapist talks like that? I just want to be super clear that I am not a therapist. I have a master's degree in mental health counseling, but I am not licensed. I am not practicing. I do not see clients. And that's very deliberate. I did that on purpose because, number 1, I never had any intention of changing careers. Therapists make a lot less than I do on average. And I went to school to learn, not to do something different with my life. I wanted to understand how my therapist was able to help me and do so. So it was just, therapy was really a life-changing experience for me. So I wanted to understand how she did that. And now I know. And I take that education with me. Obviously, it's impossible to separate that from my thoughts and feelings, whatever else. It obviously influences the things I have to say. But I am not a therapist. I haven't been a therapist since I graduated over a year ago. And so I did not want to be bound by all of the rules, regulations, ethics, moral standards, all that therapists have to worry about. I don't have to worry about, because I got my degree and left. In New York, you have to do another 3,000 hours post-grad to be licensed. There's exams you have to sit for. I just was never interested in doing that. So I hope this helps. I'm assuming most of you who are mad are Cardi stans or super fans, because I've said the same thing about Cam Newton, Nick Cannon, countless other men, even in the same episode. I went straight from dragging Nick Cannon to dragging Cardi B, but y'all are just mad about the Cardi thing, which lets me know this is for y'all to deal with respectfully. This is not on me. I'm very consistent when it comes to kids. I don't play about kids, and that is something that really got solidified in the pursuit of my degree. I learned a lot about child development and child psychology, and so I feel more strongly now than ever that y'all need to be doing right by these kids and not deliberately bringing them into chaos and confusion. So hope this helps. Really loving all this engagement. Keep it up. Thanks so much. Bye.
How does she present her like therapist stuff on the read otherwise than this?
She uses it to when she gets the listener letters and she talks about it. But I feel like sometimes it is like therapizing or just having like a background to be callous or because she's like she's like the comment about like, well, I make more money than a therapist does.
Well,
like,
yes.
That's like when you're listening to the podcast, she's like, showbiz doesn't mean anything. Like she doesn't want to be there, all this stuff. And then when people are like, so I thought you were going to be doing therapy. Like you should not be acting like this. She's like, I'm not a therapist. I make way more money. And it's like,
so it's the playing at both sides that people call that. Because for me, watching it and not knowing how she speaks about that background on the show, I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, it does seem valid to me if you want to get a master's in a discipline, but not like actually become a therapist because you just want to learn about therapy and learn more about like how mental health counseling works. That is valid to me, I guess. But the big caveat with that is I don't hear the other side of her like using therapy to be like, I'm not really a podcaster, I'm a therapist, and then going back and being like, I'm not really a therapist, I'm a podcaster.
Well, people also said the people that she is comparing Cardi B to, like Nick Cannon and Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton has at least 6 kids from different mothers, and Nick Cannon, we know that he has like 12 or 13, and like most of them. So people were taking problem with like, you're comparing Cardi B, who had like 3 kids with her husband. They broke up and had a messy divorce, and now she's with a new boyfriend. Okay, she had a kid earlier than whatever. Like, but like, she's not anywhere
it's
near
not
Nick
actually,
Cannon.
That outlandish of like a family structure. In number one, whereas like 11 kids with 6 different women, that is abnormal. You don't see that as much. And number two,
it's incredibly misogynistic.
Yeah, it's like disingenuous to say, oh, well, I also criticize these men. And it's like, well, yeah, but criticizing a woman's reproductive choices is inherently a more loaded thing to be doing than criticizing a wealthy man's choice to have a gazillion kids. Like criticizing the way a woman chooses to have kids, when she has kids, and whether or not she can work effectively when she is pregnant. These are all actually
super
way more loaded topics than like Nick Cannon's shit.
Yeah, and again, like this whole thing of like, well, I just care about the kids. I just care about the kids. Like people had issue with that. So Cardi B took to Spaces, and she responded.
As she will do. Cardi B's kind of the only one who will still take to Spaces.
She takes the Spaces. But you know what? You know what I realized? This, because she doesn't have to be on camera. She's doing the Spaces while she's getting her makeup done.
Yeah.
So and it's like, she has an hour.
That's why I went live in line for Peter Pan. So you're just, because I was
It's like, what else are you going to do?
I could have taken to Spaces.
Yeah,
I'm just not on Spaces like that. I could have taken to Spaces. I chose to go to Instagram.
But I'm saying,
Story.
if you're doing your makeup, or if you're getting your hair done, or not hair because of the loud tools, but Spaces is good.
Yeah.
So she takes the Spaces. We're just going to hear a few minutes of the response.
I'm a great mother. And I take a lot of pride for that. I think people don't understand. I don't know what people think. Like, do people think I live in Miami and my kids live in New York and like we far, far away from each other? No. I live with my kids. I live in New Jersey. My kids live in New Jersey. And let me tell you something about motherhood, right? Unless a man has you put up to be a housewife and you don't have a job and you wake up every single day to be a housewife and be a house mom and everything, you always gonna have to sacrifice some time to work and make money. Like, for example, right? My schedule is different, but most women in America, in the world, they have a 9 to 5. So because they have a 9 to 5, a lot of women spend time away during that 9 to 5 from their kids. Some of them cannot even pick them up at 3 o'clock. Some of them cannot drop them off to school because they got to be at their work at 9. That's what happens when you're a mom and you have a job. You sacrifice some time. So don't tell me that it's like, oh, you're not raising your kids because you got all this work. What are you talking about? When I had my daughter, Culture, and I was doing four to five different shows in a week, I had my kid with me. Then, of course, COVID came and everything, but I'm always with my kids. I live with my kids. You could see it in the attitudes of my children. Like, me and my kids are like best friends. Like, because I see them almost every day, every single day. They know me and I know them very well. This ain't no nanny, this and that shit. Like, yes, I have people that help me with my kids, but this ain't no, oh, I just dropped them off and somebody else is raising them for me. It's very clear that that's not what I do. Second, sorry, I'm getting my makeup done. Like, a bitch can't tell me, no woman can tell me, especially a woman that don't have kids, can tell me what it's like to have kids and what I do. Nobody can tell me, no bitch can tell me about motherhood. They don't have no fucking kids. So don't even do that.
She also says too that this is why she doesn't tell anybody. That's why she doesn't say anything when she's pregnant, because people have really bad energy and say all kinds of stuff, and it gets to her and it stresses her out.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a high-level version of a conversation that any mother who works has to deal with. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, my mom dealt with it because she always worked. And so we had a nanny when I was growing up because both my parents worked. And like, is it a privilege to have a nanny? Yeah, it's a privilege to have a nanny. Is it a privilege? There are times where it's a privilege to be able to stay home with your kids. Like, it all mixes up and like whatever. But my mom wanted to work, is a working person, was actually the breadwinner of our family. So she needed to be at fucking work.
Yeah, so, she, like, Crystal responded, whatever, but, like, that's kind of where that ended, where it was, like, people, obviously, Crystal will always have fans. People are like, no, she said everything right. It's just tough love. Other people are like, this is too far. It's too parasocial. But for the most part, like, people were really impressed with how Cardi B responded, like, very calmly, explaining all the circumstances.
Yeah, I think she, like, articulated herself very well, and I feel like she always does. Like, I do think she's very, very good at expressing herself, and that's part of why she's such a good artist in general.
Yeah, she's good at expressing
herself. It's why she goes viral in the courtroom, because she's being funny, problematic as well, but funny and problematic in equal measure. Like, she is a force to be reckoned with in terms of expression. So if you're going to go toe-to-toe with her, you should know that.
And just really quick, just to wrap up this segment, at the time of this recording, Am I the Drama is #1 on the Billboard chart.
It's excellent.
Like, yeah, I was going to say, so I told you, I said, because I didn't give it a chance because I was pissed about the plus size thing, but I gave it a chance and it was really good. And I said, at least you should listen. And the question is, 1, like, just really quick reflections on the album, and 2, is Cardi B the drama?
Cardi B is the drama. Yeah.
Is the drama.
Yeah, no, that's what being a discourse inducer is. It's being
drama.
the drama. That's
immediately answered.
Absolutely.
Cardi B is the drama, but the album is so good.
It's really good. It's so interesting to me because now, like, I just engaged with the Cardi album because it came out while I was in Japan or, like, going to Japan, and that was not that Japan energy necessarily. No. Was not Am I the Drama? But now that I'm back, now I'm, in it more. Bodega Baddie is my favorite.
Bodega Baddie is good.
Bodega Baddie is what's made it to I call it my master list, which is my, like, playlist where it's just, like, these are all my jams and they live here. Yeah. I do need to, like, probably spend a little more time with it to have, like, true full reflections. But what's interesting to me is the 2 poles of my experience are Audrey Hobart, Who's the Clown, which is very much this, like, indie pop yearning girl album about insecurities and security and all these different things. And, like, sometimes I live in that space and sometimes I live in Am I the Drama space, which is, like, I'm the baddest bitch, I'm the prettiest, I'm the hottest. Anyone who's ever messed with me was a fucking loser.
Yeah.
They mess with me because they're fucking jealous. Yeah. Everyone's jealous. Like, there's it's fun to, like, live in those 2 poles.
She also talks about the breakup really well.
She talks about, like, her emotions too and, like, how she feels. It's not just, like, there's a lot more emotional depth to it than what I just said, but the energies of those 2 albums are, like, bad bitch, sad bitch, and I like kind of vacillate between the 2.
One of my, like, favorite lines or pictures is, like, I cried for 300 days last year. No one called me, but everyone who didn't call me are gonna be, like, my tears salty. It's just like,
it's that.
Fuck you, yeah.
It's good to have a good, like, fuck you, I'm a bad bitch album to walk around to. Like, you need to be able to live in that space. Yeah, and both spaces need to be a place where you can live.
Yeah, so. Anyway, that's what Cardi B's been up to. It's been quite a lot.
It's been quite a lot.
I was like, oh, this will be 15 minutes. And then I'm like, oh my God.
No,
there's so much coming up with this girl.
The month in Cardi B was enough to catch up for an entire episode. Now it is time for, I guess, what we'll call Grasshole of the Month. I think these people are the Grassholes of the month since we haven't been on recording. Before I get into this, I'm going to reiterate that Go Touch Grass is an anti-murder podcast. I don't like how much we've had to say it. I don't
say it as much. Like, we don't say it that much, but it does come up.
It has we've had to say it twice in the last 3 weeks now because we are talking about the same story again.
Yeah, but
I mean,
we're anti-murder. We're
an anti-murder podcast. We are an anti-murder podcast. We are against people being murdered for any reason, in any manner. We'll just say that. But today, our Grassholes are the people who took the Jezebel Etsy witch article seriously. If you don't know what any of those words mean, I will get into it. But these people need to log the fuck off. So, okay, as we said, Go Touch Grass is an anti-murder podcast.
Yeah.
As Millie and I have said, we specifically moved out of the realm of doing a daily news podcast because some stuff isn't the most fun to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the Charlie Kirk stuff on a very high level in terms of the details. There might be some more Patreon episodes where we talk about different elements. Here, we're keeping things very squarely focused on the reaction to an article that was published on the feminist cultural commentary site, Jezebel, which, disclaimer, I do write for, but nothing that is said in this segment represents Jezebel, is from Jezebel.
I wrote an article or 2 for them.
I do, like, a weekly pop culture roundup for them. I am not covering it in my capacity as a person who contributes to Jezebel.
Yeah.
To be very clear. But 2 days before Charlie Kirk was murdered, for anyone who doesn't know, Charlie Kirk was the 31-year-old founder of Turning Point USA. He was murdered at an event in Utah. I had to do a disclaimer about it on our Jeffrey Epstein episode because we just so happened to have a Jeffrey Epstein episode scheduled where we talk shit about him that came out kind of closely following his murder. He was against everything that Billy and I believe personally, pretty much. But
Charlie Kirk and Jeffrey Epstein.
Both, yeah.
This is an anti-Jeffrey Epstein
podcast. We're also an anti-Jeffrey Epstein podcast. We'll say that.
We'll say that.
But for anyone who doesn't know, in terms of like online presence, Kirk is most famous for these debate-style videos where it's like sometimes he sets up a chair and sits under a sign that says, "Prove me wrong," to debate people. This was actually the setup during the time of his murder, which is anti-murder.
Yeah.
And then he would also do more like traditional theater style debates where he's debating like a Hassan Piker, like someone who's known to people, and it's more of like a traditional debate style.
Yeah.
And then he also does these like Jubilee videos, put a pin in Jubilee. We can't do it right now.
Jubilee is like...
Put a pin in Jubilee. But it's basically these videos, you'll see them go viral. It's a series called Surrounded, and it's like one person sits in a circle and will say like, "I think abortion is murder." And then a bunch of people who are surrounding them will jump up and debate them.
Yeah.
So that's what he is known for. He's very closely aligned with Donald Trump, the MAGA movement, all of that stuff.
Funded by like a bunch of old people, and like really is known for his legacy is like activating young people to be Republican and Christian.
Yes, that is a very important part of his legacy. And that's like who he is online, is he mostly goes viral for these like debate style videos. He also has a podcast and all the other right-wing guy stuff. Jezebel, like I said, is a feminist cultural commentary site. It's a blog. It's a genuine news publication. It was founded under Gawker Media in 2007. We can put a pin in Gawker Media.
Oh my God.
Put a pin in that. On September 8th, which is 2 days before Kirk was murdered at this event in Utah.
Yeah.
Jezebel published a satirical article called "We Paid Some Etsy Witches to Curse Charlie Kirk."
Well,
so Jezebel has since taken the author's name off of that piece. So I'm not going to say the author's name here. I'm not going to give any author information, whatever. It was written by a person and then eventually got attributed to Jezebel staff, because at the end of the day,
people are going to get crazy.
People are getting crazy. And it is an obvious joke article. Again, it's called "We Paid Some Etsy Witches to Curse Charlie Kirk," and it came out 2 days before his murder. Is it an unfortunate coincidence?
What's an Etsy witch?
An Etsy witch is a witch that you can buy spells and whatnot from on Etsy. There are a ton of them. We'll get more into the specifics of that. But like, there is this world on Etsy where you can buy spells. Yeah. And what I will say is, after reading the article, I feel like the real point of the article was more to talk about the process of buying something from an Etsy witch and what you can do. And the Charlie Kirk of it all was just like the funny container.
Because it's like, it's a trend, right? It's a trend that people are engaging in. People are buying. And it's something, again, that I said on Blue Sky. Honestly, though, like, it's a thing where it's like, you can buy a spell, but there's so many witches on Etsy. It's such a fucking subculture. So it's a cool way for them to talk about the subculture. It's a cool angle, while also highlighting someone that they would want to objectively curse, which is someone who's made his entire platform about how women should not be working. Yeah. How women need to stay at home. How America, like, how the Civil Rights Act was bad. How all this stuff. So they're like, let's curse this guy who, and, you know, they said they wanted him to get acne.
Yes. So I'm going to read a little bit from the piece just so that, like, you guys, the listeners, can understand the tone of the article and where it's coming from. So this is an excerpt that begins with, "Disclaimer, the ethics of cursing a stranger. Now, is it ethical to curse a man I've never met? Probably not. But is it unethical to let him keep talking? Yes. So here we are in the gray area. I want to make it clear, I'm not calling on dark forces to cause him harm. I just want him to wake up every morning with an inexplicable zit. I want his podcast microphone to malfunction every time he hits record. I want his blue blazers to suddenly all be one size too small. I want one of his socks to always be sliding down his foot. I want his thumb to grow too big to tweet. To ruin his day with the collective feminist power of the Etsy coven would be my life's greatest joy." So again, we're just obviously joking here, friends. It's just kind of obviously a joke. And even still, took the time to be like, I don't want to hurt the guy. I want his socks to be wet. Like, whatever.
This guy who's like made millions upon millions and millions of dollars saying that I don't deserve any rights.
Yeah.
He can
have a bad day.
He can have a bad day.
He could have a bad day. And also, how seriously can we take buying a spell off of Etsy?
Well,
it becomes serious. So anyway, obviously, the day that Kirk is murdered, pretty quickly this article starts going really, really viral because the screenshot with the date, people are sending it all around. Now, mostly on my feed, I'm seeing people who are kind of like joking about it, being like, either, oh shit, Jezebel must be freaking out right now. And then on a second level, people just being like, how do I get the information of this witch? Like, this is a powerful fucking witch.
This witch is so powerful. I will say that I sent that article out being like, I thought he got grazed.
Yes.
And then you told me, I just saw the video, which was horrifying.
The video was horrible, and that's a whole other discourse.
Well,
but
another thing.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't realize how bad how bad it was.
That's the thing, too, is I do think it started going viral when people did not realize that he had actually died.
Yeah.
So I think that when I first heard about it, I initially assumed the same thing. I was like, there's no way he's dead. I mean, that's horrible. That's scary. Like, I don't think it is good for there to be assassination attempts happening.
No.
Ramping up, being successful, unsuccessful. I don't think any of that is good. So I was like, not raising any of that.
No.
But it suddenly felt significantly more serious once I was like, oh, he's died.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is really fucking
because
dumb.
my family was like, I was in the group chat, I'm like, oh my God, look at this article. And then they're like, this is really fucked up. And I'm like, it's just an article. And then it came out he's died. And I'm like, oh, actually that is fucked up. Like, I wouldn't have shared it if I knew he died. But also, yeah, like, he, just to quickly say we are anti-murder, but it's also like, he said things that I don't like and I don't agree with, but in this country, supposedly, right? We all have that right to do it.
Yeah.
And we should all have the freedom, and that's a whole other pin in that.
I mean, freedom of speech. Put a pin in the freedom of speech.
But yeah, like, whatever.
Yeah. So obviously, I think this is kind of how the timeline goes. News of him getting shot comes out. People immediately find this article because it had been very recently published. The screenshot is kind of wild to look at. People are making jokes. Then it starts, I feel like it took about an hour or so for it to be like, oh no, he has died.
Yeah.
Like he's dead. Then it starts to take this different turn. What we see publicly, and again, this is all publicly available information, this is not coming from Jezebel, is that at first Jezebel puts up a disclaimer. They keep the article up, but they take the author's name down. And they put up a disclaimer that says, this story was published on September 8th. Jezebel condemns the shooting of Charlie Kirk in the strongest possible terms. We do not endorse, encourage, or excuse political violence of any kind. So we are an anti-murder website, basically. Yeah. Eventually, as more news comes out, as things start to get more and more serious, the text of the original article is replaced with a new piece titled An Update to the Jezebel Charlie Kirk Story with an editor's note. On Monday, September 8th, we published a humorous piece titled We Paid Some Etsy Witches to Curse Charlie Kirk. The piece was intended as satire and made it absolutely clear that we wished no physical harm. We stand by every word. But in light of Wednesday's events and on the recommendation of our lawyers, we have removed the text. To be clear, this decision was driven by an abundance of caution for our staff and to avoid the piece being misused in a tense and volatile environment, not by a change in our editorial judgment. We may republish at a later date, but out of compassion for the victim's family, we want to make clear that we prioritize an end to violence over anyone wanting to read about Etsy witches. Which I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's...
Oof.
It was getting hot, and I understand why you have to take stuff. Like, I'll even say, because my pop culture roundup is published on Tuesdays, so I was still like, my byline was still on like the front page. There was a point where the discourse was getting crazy enough that I was like, oh, like, am I gonna get weird messages? I never did.
Yeah.
Nothing. But like, I appreciate the abundance of caution situation.
Well, these people are crazy, and I feel like there was a lot of anger on the right. And they're very good at capitalizing on anger and hate and fueling more to get people to get more active. That's kind of their whole thing. They wanted to find someone that was different to galvanize into whatever. So having the Etsy curse shit up there was probably could be seen as asking for an invitation. And I saw that Megyn Kelly did something.
So that's what we're about to get into. Okay, to round this out, I do want to talk about some of the insane responses to this because, again, guys, it's an article published 2 days before his death that's an obvious joke. It's an unfortunate coincidence, but, like, to try to take seriously that an Etsy witch could have been involved, to actually speak about this article with seriousness, you have to fucking touch
blame
grass.
them. Yeah, exactly.
To think that it actually has any effect on anything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're nuts. You're nuts. So, on a recent episode of Megyn Kelly's podcast, this was on September 23. First of all, she talks to Erica Kirk about the Etsy witch, which she just relays what Erica Kirk said, but she's like, Erica Kirk was rattled by the article and like basically tries to say that they had gotten a priest to pray over them days before he was killed because of the curse or something. And I'm like,
yeah, right.
There's no way that they knew about the article before it came out. There's no way. There's no way.
I didn't even know about the article and I followed.
Yeah. It was a joke article. There's no way it made it to him. The only reason that it has any prevalence at all is because of the unfortunate timing of when it was released. I'm going to play a clip from Megyn Kelly, but I also want to read this comment because this is like the tone of how people are legitimately speaking about this situation. This is a comment from someone named Mark Strong. The spirit world and demons are real and not to be discounted, but they can only do what God allows. The book of Daniel provides a rare glimpse into the conflict between angels and demons. On a macro scale, the blood of martyrs has always been the seed of the true church because persecution reveals true or false faith. As detailed in Matthew 24, persecution of the church will increase greatly during the forthcoming tribulation, when you will be hated by all nations because of me. We haven't seen anything yet. This is an article about Etsy witches. Etsy witches.
Oh, man. I'm just like, I got to read fucking 15 articles, like, in the Bible to understand what you said. On Matthew 23, and on page 24, and then I'm like, God damn.
I don't want to yuck anyone's yums. No. I don't want to make fun of anybody. If you believe in demons and demonic spirits and that's part of your religion,
I believe in demons. I believe I dated 2 or 3.
Yeah, I've experienced a demon in my life.
Yeah.
And like we've said many times, we will go to Planet Woo.
Oh,
we're about to go to Planet Woo in a minute, but like
I just said that I predicted that Cardi B would end up with a wide receiver from the New England Patriots.
But to truly actually believe that an article on Jezebel about buying a spell from an Etsy witch
is the reason one
contributes in any way to like a disturbing act of political violence, like you have to fucking chill. So the last thing we're going to do, and then we're going to play kind of a game, is we're going to get the tone from Megyn Kelly of how Megyn Kelly talked about this on her podcast. Because this is why these people need to go touch grass. This is crazy. This is a person who was a journalist.
First, I have a sort of out of left field story to bring to you. And then I want to start with it. I've been wrestling with whether to bring you this story for a few days now. I've been wrestling because I find it so vile and off and odd. I wasn't even sure where to go with it. But I decided that I had to do it because the groups who did this deserve public censure. I learned when I was out in Arizona last week that 2 weeks before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the far-left website Jezebel declared that it had a mission to cast bad luck or a curse on Charlie. They wanted to hurt him in some way. They declared, quote, if the far-right misogynist with a bad haircut wants to villainize independent women, Jezebel is more than happy to be the hag of his nightmares. And they went on to the website Etsy, yes, Etsy, to, quote, cast a curse on him. Yes, this is actually a thing. Etsy, the website known for making arts and crafts on demand, will happily cast a hex through its witches, who you can hire, on someone if you ask them to. The Jezebel crew was delighted to discover, quote, it's not uncommon for the so-called witches on Etsy to channel their energy toward thwarting Republicans. There's even a subreddit devoted to casting nightly hexes on Trump. Jezebel decided Charlie Kirk, who they've repeatedly described as far right, The founder of the right-wing conspiracy theory factory, Turning Point USA, is, quote, more irritating than most, and asked its audience if they were, quote, interested in punishing Kirk for years of regressive rhetoric.
Are you serious? Are you fucking serious?
Yes.
That's what's great. Because also she has this crazy tone in it where on the halftime she's like joking about the Etsy witches. And she's like, yeah, you can really do this. And I'm like, but so you're also acting like it's real.
Yeah, so it's like, so do you believe that witches have power or not? Because if you believe witches have power, then you are like disgusted and astonished, but then you're also making fun of it. But the whole thing goes back to, it's easy to blame a group of women on a feminist website. It's hard to be like, what rhetoric have I posted to encourage someone to think that this is okay?
Yeah.
How have we normalized school shootings so that a kid who's 21 years old thinks that it's normal?
How have we normalized political violence? Charlie Kirk, did a fundraiser for the guy who attacked Paul Pelosi. Like, exactly. This is like, what is the culture that we've been creating? These are the questions we need to have. An article about an Etsy witch, like, are we fucking for real? Are we fucking for real? Go touch grass. That is what I'm saying. If you...
Megyn Kelly, go touch
grass. Mark Strong, the commenter, go touch grass. Anyone who felt any actual real feeling about this article that it could in any way be tied to genuine violence that took place, you have to go touch grass. You have to.
Okay.
You have to.
I mean, yeah, if Republicans need to go touch grass, I feel like that's also just, I mean, it's not even Republican.
No, it's a specific subsect. Like, you have to be particularly nuts. And what's also wild to me is, like, Charlie Kirk, ostensibly, his whole thing was, like, free speech. Everyone should be able to say whatever. Yeah. That was one of the drums that he beat. How can you support him and the things he said and his right to say them, but then also think that an article about Etsy witches needs to be censured and, like, this is actually bad and let's dox the writer and let's shut down the site and let's be scary to these people? Like, how can you hold those two things?
We should always be pointing out the hypocrisy, but they do not care.
No, they don't.
They think they are better and right. They think that the way that they view, and everyone else is a fucking freak. So of course they think that they should be able to do shit that other people shouldn't do. Of course they're like, free speech for me, but not for thee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And when they do stuff that's fucked up and it's a joke,
we
have no humor.
The Paul Pelosi fundraiser was a joke.
Humor, whatever. But this article that literally says we paid an Etsy witch to give him a zit is going to get national attention. The New York Post wrote it up.
Oh, well, New York Post writes about everything.
I know, but even still, like, they were framing it like Jezebel, feminist website, blah, blah, blah. It's like Charlie Kirk specifically wanted to be an enemy of feminists. A feminist website made a joke about him. It's unfortunate that it happened 2 days before he was killed, which no one likes.
Like, no one likes it. It was a horrible thing, but also,
horrible.
If the killer said, hey, you know, the last thing I watched was, I read the Etsy witch thing and I said, I'll take it.
Yeah, that would be different.
That would be different. This guy was not on Jezebel.
No, this guy was not.
The alleged griper, whatever. Who knows what the politics of this guy is?
He was not influenced by the Jezebel article, either by reading it or by the powers of witchcraft actually working in some, whatever.
Alise, if a straight white male could be influenced by Jezebel, we'd all make more money. Like,
if Etsy witches could truly cast spells to make straight white guys do things, we'd be in a better place. That said, I do want to give an update on the witch, which is that one of the witches in the article, known as Priestess Lilyn, spoke out in a Daily Mail exclusive, actually, titled, "I'm the witch who cursed Charlie Kirk. I want to speak to Erica directly because she deserves to hear the truth." Priestess Lilyn claimed that it was actually not her who cast the spell, so she's not the Etsy witch, but it was her sister who goes by the name High Priestess Liamashtu. The Jezebel article described a curse that involved burning a photograph of Charlie Kirk. Priestess Lilyn said that the majority of her work is casting spells for protection and healing, but that summoning demons and communicating with spirits were not inherently evil acts. The spiritual community views demons as multifaceted spirits and not one-dimensional big bad evils, she said. Mediumship is also perceived as an ethically neutral practice. Is it effective? Yes. She said she and Leah Mashtu had received a barrage of death threats recently and have been banned by Etsy. Etsy did not respond to a request for comment from the Daily Mail yet. A lot of people were saying, like, how do I get in touch with this witch? You can't get in touch with this witch. She's been removed from Etsy. I guess I understand Etsy having a policy against spells of harm.
Yeah.
I
don't think she should have gotten fucking her store taken down.
I know. I would say you can't have the curse.
Can make money.
I understand Etsy existing in a weird ethical framework around letting people sell spells on the site.
Yeah.
Whatever. But you can still buy spells on the site. And we're going to end this episode. Millie, a long time ago, had said we were going to get a success spell from an Etsy witch.
Yes.
We've learned that they're more powerful than we could possibly imagine.
But I was crippled by indecision.
So I have chosen 3.
Thank you.
And we are going to do a poll on Spotify and on our Instagram to which of the 3 of these Etsy witches we should get a success or like there's one success adjacent spell. We'll decide between these people. So the first one that I want to show you, this is Covenant Coven.
Okay.
Covenant Coven. They have 5 stars, but 129 reviews, and they've been on Etsy for 5 months with 900 plus sales. So like new to Etsy, but like they're, 900 plus sales in 5 months. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. They have offerings like the Get Hired spell, a powerful good luck spell, and a social media success spell. So that's $13. We could specifically buy the social media success spell. They also have a vaginal tightening spell and a win a divorce spell.
Well,
the thing is, I feel like it's legal, and like my divorce actually doesn't have a lot of like legal. I wouldn't want to waste it on that because
you can't. Yeah, we got that figured out.
Exactly. I don't need a spell for that. Vaginal tightening.
You need the divorce spell. Cardi B.
Cardi B might need the divorce spell. We could buy it for Cardi. Now we also have Lady of the Moss. Lady of the Moss has
I like her pictures.
She has a 4.9, but she has 23.9 thousand reviews.
No, I'm trusting her.
88.5 thousand sales.
Yeah.
13 years on Etsy. And I do like her pictures better.
Her pictures are better. And I don't know. I do like that she's in Canada.
Yeah, there's something about not being US based that I like. Covenant Coven, they have clearly edited images. Like the cover photos are edited, but when you click on them, you can see how her actual candle setup is, which is a little nicer. Lady of the Moss, you see her actual candle setup for each spell, and we have the Good Luck, Success, and Growth spell, which is a same-day casting and only $3. So,
now we know why she has 88,000 sales.
Yeah.
But then I feel like a $13 spell, like she's actually doing it. A $3 spell, like, is she, like, what is she doing?
Yeah, so these are the questions, these are what we're putting to you, because you guys are going to have to vote on this. And then, but that is the Good Luck and Growth same day cast. This is actually listed as a bestseller.
I don't like her handwriting is giving first grade teacher, which isn't, there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know if I want my witch to.
I want my witch to have more of a, like, it looks like she was writing on a scroll. But, whatever. As witches, come into the modern times, their handwriting might change.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Arcane Alchemy GB, which I think GB means they're in Great Britain, if that adds anything to you. And they have a powerful success spell, which is $6. This is also a same-day casting. This is her setup of candles. We've got a little video here so we can see. And this promises instant money, love, fame, luck, and success, powerful magic for immediate results, same-day casting for manifestation.
I like that this encompasses a lot of stuff.
Oh, and to get Arcane Alchemy's stats, it's kind of in between. It's at a 4.8, but with 347 reviews.
Yeah.
1.3 thousand sales and a year on Etsy.
Interesting.
So these are the options, guys. Covenant Coven, where we would get the social media success spell.
Yeah.
Lady of the Moss, where we get the same day good luck growth success spell.
Yeah.
Or Arcane Alchemy, where we're going to get the same day powerful success spell.
Yeah.
So these are the options. You'll be able to vote on them with this episode. And that
And this is a democracy.
This is a democracy, so your voice will be heard. We will get the spell.
I'm gonna actually not count half of the.
You'll be like, well, they voted from a red state,
Yeah,
so
it doesn't count. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I feel like we caught up as best we can. We're back to regular episodes after this, guys. Yeah. Thank you for giving us the time off. I hope you liked our banked episodes. I feel like they came out really great. We loved our guest.
I loved our guest. I'm so excited to be back in the groove. And I think for the crime
of taking a satirical article seriously enough that people are actually sending death threats to a witch. All the people who did that, go touch grass. Go touch grass. And until next time, listener, go touch grass. Beautiful.
Go Touch Grass is created and hosted by Alise Morales and Millie Tamers.
Recording and sound production by My Friend's Basement Studio. And our theme song is by Doug Wydick.